welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been following me. Today I am gardening in my backyard and I am working on a new section that has been kind of bothering me for a while. I haven't been able to put work into it because it was something that I haven't done much work on in the last I would say 6 months or so, because I've been not not what I was going to do with this spot, but today I'm going to spend some time working on this bed. And what I already did, I actually garden here in Zone 6 in Toronto, and for those of you who are new to my channel, I post about all things gardening and plants, and I'm so happy to have all of you join my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, do hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel for more updates and videos from me. I post regularly about plants and all things gardening. So what I'm actually doing in this spot is shopping around in my garden and moving plants that I feel will do best in this location. So this location gets a lot of sun pretty much all day. It does get a bit of shade because I have a tree above, but it's not a full shade by any means. It's some spots get part shade and some spots get a good amount of sun. So let me go through some of the plants that are already in this bed. So I do have a calycanthus planted over there. So this is the Aphrodite calycanthus. This is its I would say its second year in the garden. I planted it in the spring last year, and it's doing amazingly well in this spot, and I do not want to touch it and move it because I think it's going to be beautiful. It's going to fill in this spot, and I think I might even see some blooms on it this year. I see buds on it. So this is going to stay here, but what I'm going to do is work around it, and I'll show you what I have already done. So I do have a Japanese maple that I recently planted. Actually, it was back there, which I didn't love. So what I've done is I've moved it to kind of in the center of this bed, slightly under the tree, because it can take some part shade. And I think the colors will be a lot better in part shade for the Japanese maple. So, and it's going to be quite slow growing. It's going to take its time to grow. So I like it here. And what it's going to do is, as it grows, I can then train the branches to how I want them. And it's going to actually be below the canopy of this tree above. So it's going to be almost like an understory tree, but not quite, because it's going to get a lot of sun from all sides. Because this tree over here has a lot of open branching, and it doesn't cast a heavy shade by any means. So I did that, and I also planted a couple of Shadowland Seducer hostas in the front here, just so that they fill in this spot. And I have a bunch of iris. This is just bearded iris that a friend of mine gave me, and they've been in that spot for a long time, and I think they are too much in the back, and I kind of want to bring them more in the front of this bed. So I'm going to actually dig them out and plant them in different sections of this bed. So that's another plant that I am drawing in from my existing landscape. And also I had this beautiful Roseanne geranium, which was in the back over there beneath the calycanthus, and I've moved it in the front here. And I also have a beautiful catmint over here. I don't know this variety. It's a very different leaf and a flower, but it's just starting to come to bloom, and I just moved it just behind the geranium Roseanne. So that's all I've done so far. And I also have a little quick fire hydrangea that I've dug out that I was actually planning to put in here, but I stumbled upon a big post. So I will be changing the location for this one, and I'm going to be planting some lilies in that spot. I actually have some daylilies here. This one is called When My Sweetheart Returns. Blooms a beautiful lemony yellow with a pink throat. So I also reblooms. So I think it'll be a nice lily texture to add in that spot, and it'll be happy in that. It doesn't need too much of a depth. I mean, although it can get a bit of a depth there. The hole is pretty big, but it hits a post, so I think it's going to work around it, and I don't think I'll be able to dig out that post. So I'm going to put the lilies there. And then I also have some roses that I'm going to plant in this spot that I have in my plant stash. And I have a dappled willow that is kind of not doing well in the spot that it's in. I think it doesn't get enough moisture. It's just not happy. So I might move it in the back over there. And I have a big lilac that I was planning to leave in a pot for the winter. But I think it'll be best if it went in the ground, because then it can add as a screen. And it'll grow in that spot really well and add some spring interest. So that's the plan. So I'm going to get these plants in the ground and I'll show you what this bed evolves and looks like. Really excited to actually get started on it. Actually, I spent some time yesterday to dig out all the grass and creating this new extended border before my border just ended over there, and I added a good amount of space here. As you can see in front, I went in front of the tree and I kind of went here, and this will evolve over time as well, because I ultimately want to plan a walkway going back into my backyard. So as that evolves, maybe this one will extend a bit and join with this. So I'm not there yet, so I'm going to just work on this one for now and see how this one shapes up, and I will take you along as I move some things and I move the shrubs around that are existing in my garden, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm done planting this new bed, and I wanted to give you a walkthrough of all the plants that I put in this spot, and I'm absolutely loving how this turned out, and actually ended up being a really fun project for me, because it was quite rewarding to actually get to all the plants in my plant stash and get them in the ground. And also along the way I did go and get a couple new things to add here, and a lot of it was moving around things that were already here. So the first thing that I did was I had the big iris clump there, and I actually moved the iris, one clump in there and one clump in front over here, and I also got these beautiful variegated sweet flag iris that I added as well. So I think it will be nice to have both of these together and kind of add to the iris kind of collection here, because the variegated iris will bloom a very nice light purple, and then this other old iris that I have blooms a really dark purple. So I think it'll be nice to have a little bit of contrast in the leaves as well as the blooms in this section. So towards the front I also added 2 seducer hostas, and then I added a bunch of coral bells in front as well. So this one is obsidian coral bell, Suhukra. Obsidian is a very dark coral bell. It has a beautiful shiny glossy dark foliage, and it's got a nice bright underside, and it has creamy white blooms and really nice tall spikes, which I really love, and I added one of those there. And then on this side I added a lot of hukras as well. So this one is called Grape Expectations. It has a beautiful crackled grape colored foliage with silver undertones, and this one is also very beautiful. It also blooms a creamy white color, and then I added actually 3 of these, and I added 2 of these Hakanakloa Japanese forest grass. This one is the all gold variety. I love how the colors play together. There is this beautiful grape color, deep burgundy grape color, and then there's this bright chartreuse, which really looks good together. And then I added a couple of lime marmalade hukras. So these are more of the chartreuse color again, and I love how this looks against the Japanese maple, and I love all of these colors together. They look really, really nice. So I have 3 of the Grape Expectation hukras. I have 2 of the lime marmalade hukras in the back, and then I have the all gold Hakanakloa grass, 2 of them here. And this is my little quick fire that I moved here. It looks much happier in this spot, and I love how this looks in this spot here. And then I added some daylilies here. This one is called Rosy Returns. It's a reblooming daylily, much shorter in size, and I love how this looks. And I also have one other daylily in the back there. It's called Pardon Me, and which is not blooming right now. Pardon Me daylily, and then those three are Crimson Pirate daylilies that I also added. And then what I did was I removed the iris from here, and I added I had these in my plant stash. This is the Bloomerang Dark Purple Lilac, which is going to bloom pretty much all season. It has this heavy flush of blooms in the spring, and then it reblooms throughout the season. So it'll be exciting to see if it reblooms this season. And then I have a Wine and Roses Vigila, which also blooms early in the spring, and then it can rebloom throughout the season. So it has beautiful burgundy foliage, and then it picks up on this Summer Wine 9-buck that I have in the back, and I left some iris in the back there as well, because when I dug it up there was a lot of pieces that I could easily divide. And so I had a Limelight hydrangea in the back there, which was looking very sad yesterday. It was drooping. As you can see, it's still drooping. I gave it a lot of water and I moved it here, and it's still drooping, so I'm hoping it recovers and it picks up. If not, I will dig it out and probably move it somewhere else and plant something else in its place here, but I'm going to give it a chance and see how it does. And then I had two bluebird hydrangeas. These are mountain hydrangeas, which were also not doing too well. They were actually in that spot there where the Vigila is, and they were drooping, they were unhappy. I think they were getting a lot of sun there and they weren't happy. And yesterday I dug them out and I dunked them in water and I let them soak in all the water, and today they are looking much happier, and I think they are going to bloom as well. So I'm so happy that I moved them. It was very timely. And that is my Calicanthus, which looks amazing in this spot here. I love how that looks. And then I have an Aurora Borealis rose in the back there that I planted, which looks really pretty as well. It has beautiful pink blooms, and I think it is just going to add that pop of color in this garden. And then I have a quick fire hydrangea that I also added in the back there, which looks really pretty. And then in the back there near the chain link fence, I added 4 bridal wreath spireas. I think they will add a nice screen and privacy from my neighbor. They are kind of doing a lot of work in their backyard, and I kind of want to have something that will grow and screen. And this is a medium grower, so it should grow fairly quickly and at least get to the height of the fence and give me that coverage. And I like that it's going to be not very heavy. It has very tiny leaves, so it's going to offer some coverage but some transparency as well, and I like that. And that bridal wreath spirea also blooms beautiful white blooms in the spring, in May and June, and it has a nice arching habit, so eventually it's just going to drape over the fence and it's going to look really pretty once it's mature. And then I have my President Grevy lilac, which I planted here. And I have some coneflowers. These are Tres Amigos coneflowers that I planted here. They will have different shades of red, coral, and pink, and burgundy, and all in one plant, and I'm excited. I already have one bloom on it. And then I have a Sonic Red Vigila in the back here, which is also blooming a little bit, and it's still very small, and I'm hoping it arches and fills in this spot. And then I had some marigolds lying around, which I planted here. And then these are the When My Sweetheart Returns daylilies here. And I have my geranium roseanne here. And I also have my catmint there. So yeah, and then there is another rose over here. This is in your eyes rose. So this one again is a rose shrub. It gets pretty tall, about a meter high, so it's probably going to get 5 to 6 feet tall, and it's going to be really nice in this corner. And it gets beautiful yellow blooms with a dark center, red center, and then they fade. As they fade to a light lavender pink. So it's almost like the Ringo rose, but in a larger form. And it's going to be very, very, very pretty in this spot and add multicolors on the same shrub. And I'm excited about this shrub. And then in front of it, I have a climbing rose called Henry Kelsey. So this one again has beautiful dark pink blooms. And I'm hoping it kind of gets tall and it kind of uses this lilac as a support and just arches over. So that's what I wanted to do. Right now it's not doing a whole bunch because it's just there. And then I also have a clematis here. This one is called Louise Rowe, I think, Louise Rowe or something like that, and has beautiful pale lavender blooms. So I think that too will climb up this lavender and it's gonna look really, really nice here. So yeah, these are all the plants in this bed that I redid over the last couple of days, and I added a whole bunch of plants that I had in my plant stash, that I had in my garden beds, that needed to be moved around. And I think it turned out really, really rewarding and fun, and I love all the colors, and I love that it has all the seasons covered. I have early blooming things like the lilacs and the vigilas, and I have some late blooming things like the hydrangeas, and the roses are going to be continuously blooming. And then I also have echinaceas, which are going to bloom later, and lots of like the early ones are also going to be the irises, and I can always add some bulbs in here. And then midsummer to summer I will have lots of lilies here, and I'll have coneflowers, and I actually also want to add some catmint and salvia in here. I just haven't been able to find them, so as soon as I find some of those, I will add them in this bed as well. And I think that will complete this bed for me, because salvias and catmint is what pulls my beds together. I have it all across my beds, and I love how they look and the structure and the color, the purple color that they offer in the bed. And it's going to echo a lot of the colors from the geranium roseanne and the catmint here that's here, and it's going to pull all the other colors together. So I hope you found this video useful and inspiring if you are trying to create a bed and you need some plant ideas. There's lots of good ideas here and colors that you can potentially use in your garden if you're starting off and creating a new garden space. I hope you liked this video and you'll give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do consider subscribing. I post about all things gardening regularly, and I hope you had fun watching this video and my plant selections. Do let me know in comments below what you think. And with that, I wanted to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day wherever you are joining me from. Thank you again for watching.